My dear friends, the theme of joy is, as it were, a pause in the time of violet and not sadness, but thirst and hunger for something greater. In these hours that passed, I was thinking about what makes joy. Observe, look at life. Observe how many hours are spent in planning joy. All the travel agencies of the world function on that. One works for days on end so as to have a moment of joy. All carefully programmed, and the joy will come if one does such and such. Some years ago, there was the famous case of Jacques Fesch in France. He had this illusion that if he got a yacht, he would flee away from his problems and find joy. But he needed the money. So he went into a shop and did a classic hold-up. The game of that hold-up was not great, but he found himself in a situation of being traced by the law. He found that a policeman crossed his path, and he was fairly keen on getting his boat, and the policeman was in the way. He was armed, and he shot the policeman, and it was a mortal blow. We are going now back a few years in time, and French law was fairly strong-worded. The result was the guillotine. But this gentleman had a profound experience of what the French would call étant touché par la grâce, being touched by grace in the prison cell. It was an interesting case, for he wrote all his thoughts in that cell up to the moment of being guillotined. It seemed that he made a tremendous journey into sanctity in that prison cell. What struck me, however, was the way in which this gentleman was in search of some kind of chimeric dream, that joy would happen if one got to such a place. What does one happen if one gets to such a place so well planned? Well, one's baggage comes with one, does it not? This, that I'm telling you, is something extremely important for life, because many miss the appointment of joy. Many travel after that chimeric dream of joy, outside where it is to be found. What is joy? Well, it is, first of all, not to do with the senses, for the senses are to do with the body, and the body is the envelope of the soul. Joy is of the soul. Fill the body with what should produce joy, and that is the quest of a great proportion of humanity right now with substances, starting at the weakest and going to the strongest, and do you think they find joy at the maximum of the substance? No, I tell you, they find a deeper thirst and emptiness. Nor is it now we're going to a higher level, things that affect the mind, the spirit. Music, joy of literature, plays, and so on, are of a higher level, and give a certain satisfaction to a higher level of man. But you take your baggage with you to the theatre, and you find that when it is over, you're faced with your baggage. Your joy is what you are. Go to a higher level. A person who has nothing, e.g., in Ireland some 50 years ago or more, the good hidden army of housewives who had nothing whatsoever, just enough to get by. But do you think they had less joy than the millionaire who was on his journey to the Chimera? I tell you that in Ireland 50 years ago there was more joy than now. Ask your grandparents. They knew how to make joy out of little things. And children too could make joy out of very simple things, whereas now they are grunting and complaining with all the latest in electrified modern cars. A child is a fidget, whereas before he could laugh and be amused with a little thing. We are poorer now than 50 years ago, because our humanity has been impoverished. And you? Do you want the secret of joy? Well, it's this. Don't look for it. The more you look for it, the more it will flee you. Abdicate over the cosmos, and you will receive the cosmos. For joy is made of one thing, and if that one thing is not there, we have nothing. Joy is made of peace, and peace is made of grace and union of will with the one who rules the cosmos.